Toastmasters, and I'm going to talk about my experience living and working in two cities in the US today. Those two cities are Boston and Seattle. I've been in the US last 15 years. I'm living in 5 cities, Boston, Seattle, Minneapolis, Dallas, and Boise. I'm going to talk about Boston and Seattle today. So first I moved into Boston to the year 2000. That was from India. At that point of time, I was living in India and I moved to US. Initially, I moved into Boston in summer. So I'm going to talk about the weather and sports in those two cities. So when I moved in, it was summer. It was a great time to move in. Actually, everybody moves in summer to new places. I moved in summer, and then when I hit upon the winter, and it was the first winter for me with snow. I experienced snow. I was also learning driving. I was new to driving, and driving in snow is tough, definitely. Like Boston is a place where a lot of snow we expect, and it was tough when we moved in there. But I started learning and to drive in snow, and I had to dig up snow when you had a big storm of 1 or 2 feet. Boston was a difficult place where there could be snowstorms unpredicted, and we did have few of the snowstorms. But one good thing about the weather in Boston was after the snow is over, they clean up the roads very neat so that you don't even feel like there was a snow. You can easily drive in the roads after the snow is over. The weather city is very good about cleaning all the roads. So I like that part of the city where after the snow it was clean, while spring and summer was an enjoyable time in Boston. Now looking at the sports teams in Boston, you are in part of Boston, you definitely have to be part of one of the sports teams lacking Red Sox or Patriots. As part of the office league, I was playing softball, so I was inclined to like baseball team, like Red Sox was famous. So it was like I slowly started getting into what is this game about, and then I started liking Red Sox. So I started watching the games. 2003 was a year of peak. Red Sox was playing with Yankees, and it was the final game of for AFC Championship, I think. It was really a tough game that they played Game 7 with a lot of passion. That's the year when I started really liking the team, and I started following Red Sox. So I lived there in Boston for 4 years. I moved out of Boston. I still was a fan of Red Sox. I'm still a fan of Red Sox. But when I was looking at the football, the Patriots, I wasn't following them as much as Red Sox was. So when I moved into Seattle, I moved into Seattle in 2005. In Seattle, there are a couple of teams here too. And when you look at the weather, and in 2005, Seattle was great. It was very warm, everything was going fine. The summer as well as the winter. Winter also was warm at that point of time. I was thinking there's hardly any issues here. There's a nice place better than Boston. But I don't have to dig up any snows here, and driving was easy. But 2006 was a bad year for Seattle. When I moved into the next year, I saw that we had a very big storm. Flooding was there, and we lost power for 3 days. I think if you are in Seattle, you would have noticed that a lot of places lost power for more than 10 years. It was a very challenging year, and it was very difficult, unpredictable weather. I wasn't much worried about the rain. We used to have rain in India. Rain is definitely a part and parcel of any city. But the snow was challenging in Seattle. Every time there is a snow, and after the snow, the city has to clean up on its own. There was not like a well clean up effort being done. Even you can notice now on the side roads are always there with snow. That was not the case in Boston. I definitely was. That's one thing Seattle needs to improve in cleaning up the snow. But 2006 was a tough year in terms of weather. I learned to live in it now. I'm here for 10 years now. After being here for 10 years now, you know exactly what to do and whatever type of weather it is, and you manage to live in the city and you start enjoying the city at this point of time. In looking at the sports teams, Seattle, I had Mariners, and I was following up Mariners, and they weren't doing much good, and still they continue to be like that. But now Red Sox is also not doing good. in that aspect. So it doesn't really matter what team you follow. But in 2009, I started learning about football. I went to Dallas for a year, and I knew some of my friends taught me what football is, what are the key elements you need to watch, how the game progresses, and all that made me interested in football. So that's why I started watching Seahawks, and I became a fan of Seahawks and understand the game better, a little bit better, and try to follow the game. So what I understood was, if you know the game better, then you are going to be able to enjoy the game better. So now I'm becoming a fan of Seahawks, even though I enjoyed baseball, I also now started enjoying football. So to all of you, I would ask you a question: do you really like the team because you're part of the city, or maybe because you like the game, you like this team? So that could be two different things. Each person will have their own views. As far as weather is concerned, you have no choice. You just have to live what you get. So, but the teams, sports teams, you do have a choice. If you have to compare the two teams, the Red Sox is better or Seahawks is better, who's superior in this case, I wouldn't go for that. They are both the good teams. Thank you.